All right, good morning, everyone. So I need everyone to open up Pear Deck. I know we're all used to this by now. Go ahead and open up Pear Deck because this will help us to interact with each other through this Google Slide presentation. And today we are learning the principles of design. Once we go through all of this information, we'll have a project that we can start in class today. But first, we have to understand what we're working with, right? So the principles of design. What are the principles of design? Does anyone want to paraphrase or can someone volunteer to help read the description here? What are the principles of design? All right, I guess I'll go ahead and volunteer. So, the principles of design are the rules a designer must follow to create an effective and attractive composition. All right, the principles of design, the rules that a designer follows. This will help to create an artwork that is effective and attractive, get people to look and be intrigued, right? So, there are several different principles here. We have contrast, emphasis, pattern, variety, movement, balance, unity, rhythm, and proportion. Now, we are going to dive deeper into all of these art terms today. And then, like I said, we're going to check your knowledge a bit here and there throughout the presentation. And then at the end, we're going to answer an exit ticket. And then that's going to lead us into applying what we learned to our art assignment. All right. So on the agenda, again, we're going over the different principles and then we're going to answer the exit ticket. So then we have contrast. Who can volunteer to read contrast for me? Okay, thank you. Yes, contrast refers to how different elements are in a design, particularly adjacent elements. These differences make various elements stand out. Contrast. So we have thin letters here and then we have thick letters here to help build that contrast. So on your Pear Deck slide, you're actually able to drag the icon. Which image best represents contrast? Which image best represents contrast? So drag your icon to which image you think that it best represents contrast. Oh, sorry about that. So yes, actually the answer is the picture here on the left-hand side because you see the differences in color. You have the black silhouette figures that are right in front of the colorful backgrounds. It helps build that contrast. So good job. All right, and then we have emphasis. Emphasis is the part of the design that catches the viewer's attention. Something that stands out like this E. It looks different. It has a different color compared to the other letters in the word. Or this stop sign here. It's a bright red geometric figure compared to the trees that are organically standing there in the background. All right, so it's same for this. Which image best represents emphasis? You can drag your icon to the picture that best represents emphasis, something that stands out. All right, I have a few people circling on the correct answer. I'm still waiting for a few more. Can we get there? All right, we're moving. I'm still waiting for two more scholars to answer the question, which image best represents emphasis? Thank you so much. So yes, the picture over here on the right-hand side represents emphasis. This umbrella, this colorful umbrella, stands out compared to the background of the white snow. It kind of falls along the lines of contrast, right? How it stands out. This umbrella is being emphasized. Next we have pattern. Who wants to help read pattern? Thank you so much. Pattern, the repeating of an object or symbol all over the work of art. Repetition works with the pattern to make the work of art seem active. All right, so let's look at some examples of what that means. Repetition, it makes the artwork seem active, like it's moving, like there's something going on here. So what do we think? Which image would best represent pattern? What do we see a repetition of? Something that feels like it's active because it's the same object being repeated. All right, this must have been an easy one. We have a lot of people on the correct answer. Yes, on the right-hand side, This image best represents pattern. You see all of these same figures just being repeated throughout, and it kind of looks like the image is active, like they're moving. It's just so many different little, I guess, reptiles swarming around, right? All right, next we have variety. Variety is the use of several elements of design to hold the viewer's attention and to guide the viewer's eye through and around the work of art. So let's look into that deeper. Several elements, okay, so we have several elements, a variety of things in the design that holds the viewer's attention, right? All right, so let's see here. Can we relate variety to either of these images? Which one represents variety? Go ahead and move your icon to the image that you think best represents variety. All right, we have a handful of students on the correct answer. I'm still waiting for about 5 more scholars to drag their icon to the image that best represents variety. Thank you so much. Yes, we have a picture over here on the left-hand side that best represents variety. There's a lot of different things going on, excuse me, that helps to attract the viewer's eye. It brings them to several different things, several different elements or moments in the image here. All right, movement. We're actually almost done with these terms, guys. Movement, the path the viewer's eye takes through the work of art, often to focal areas. So movement actually will drag the viewer's eye from certain points to another point, all within the same image. So let's see what we can see here. Which image best represents movement? Maybe this is a trick question. I don't know. Let's figure it out. Which image best represents movement? What seems like it's taking your eye from one place and moving it to the next part of the image? I'm going to give everyone about 3 more seconds to move their icon to the correct image. All right, thank you. So yes, actually this is a trick question. These both images are representations of movement. You have the person here jumping from one side of the image to the next, which essentially moves your eye from over here to the left, from the left-hand side over to the right, just by the person jumping. And then the image over here on the right-hand side, if you notice, it looks like we're all pretty familiar with this, I guess, contraption. This little fun thing that we've all seen, the huge swing at most carnivals or amusement parks. And you can see that, excuse me, sorry. The one seat all the way back here kind of goes from being super small and drags the viewer's eye up to the front of the image, where this then looks super big, or it can go from looking at this super big seat, these two seats here, and then dragging the viewer's eye towards the back part of the image, which would be the smaller seat. So yes, these are both really strong representations of movement. Good job, guys. Now balance. Who wants to read balance? Balance, the distribution of the visual weight of objects, colors, texture, and space. It's the visual distribution of weight, something that feels balanced. So which image best represents balance? Go ahead and drag your icons. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. So yes, a lot of people are circling around the right-hand image that represents balance. These are actually evenly distributed on both sides of the image because they are symmetrical. It's the same thing that you see on both sides. That would equate to balance. They are balanced. All right, next we have unity. The feeling of harmony between all parts of the work of art, which creates a sense of completeness, something that is unified. There's many different things working here in the artwork that is bringing it all together. So which image best represents unity? Maybe this is a trick question. I don't know. Let's see where everyone's oh my gosh, I can't speak today. Gravitating towards. All right, about 5 more seconds. I see that there's 2 people still needing to move their icons. So which image best represents unity? Great. So this is another trick question. The image here on the left-hand side of the singular person with a whole bunch of color on her, actually, the thing that unifies this image is the fact that she does have all of these vibrant variety of colors. But the paint that's splashed all over her actually unifies the image and brings it together. And then we have this image here on the right with many different cultural women holding arm in arm. That gives a sense of unity. They're all unified with the content that's in the image. Not, so to speak, maybe an element of art, but the content of which we're looking at, the hands being intertwined, gives a sense of unity. So good job, guys. All right, 2 more words and then we're done. Rhythm. Rhythm is created when one or more elements of design are used repeatedly to create a feeling of organized movement. So rhythm does follow along the lines of the word movement that we just looked over. But it's actually more subtle, more rhythmic. It flows more. It seems more fluid and natural instead of something that's kind of straight to the point. So if we look here, which image best represents rhythm? Something that seems more fluid and flowy, that kind of leads seamlessly into the next thing of the image. Go ahead and drag your icons over to the image that you think best represents rhythm. All right, yeah, so everyone is actually correct. We have the image over here with all of these women, and it's so fluid with the way that their dresses or their gowns are moving that it creates a sense of rhythm. Everything is intertwining with one another, which brings it all together, and it kind of takes you from one person to the next just because of the rhythmic motions of their dresses and the colors, how they're all just fluidly moving together. Last but not least, we have proportion. So proportion is actually the feeling of unity created when all parts, sizes, amounts, or number relate well with each other. So you have a really large elephant compared to something that's a really small little mouse. That is a difference in proportion. So which image best represents proportion? Go ahead and drag your icon to the image that best represents proportion, whether it be a difference in proportion or maybe it's similarities in proportion. So actually, this was a trick question as well. These are actually both great examples of proportion. You have on the left-hand side here a man who actually looks really, really small, so small that he's actually shorter than these chess pieces. That could be a difference in proportion because we normally see a man who is way larger than chess pieces, and he's actually small here in this image, including the bird who's really, really small compared to the chess pieces. So that's a difference in proportion. And then we also have over here on the right hand side differences in proportion because of the really large tennis ball compared to the really small one. So those things help with design and creating the differences in sizes, right? Maybe it makes it more balanced. Maybe it seems that one side is more heavily weighted than the other. All right, so that actually concludes our presentation for today of the principles of design. Now we're actually going to go into the exit ticket for today. So I'm going to send this exit ticket in the link, in the Zoom link, so that you can, or the Zoom chat, so that you can click the link and answer the different questions. If you do need any help, please let me know. I'm always here, but this is just a quick knowledge check to make sure everyone was following along. Um, uh, there are many of the same questions, just looking at different example images. So the first one will ask you, what principles of design do you see? Check all that apply. And then the questions that are underneath are relatively the same. And then once you're done, please let me know so that we can head into our art project and jump into that. All right. Go ahead, take the next 10 minutes to answer the exit ticket. All right.